Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Ear to Ear Podcast with C. Ray and Lanny. I am C. Ray, and this guy on the other side of the screen, it looks like he has a crap ton of stuff to say tonight. That is Lanny Moe, and he is wound tight and ready to go. Lanny, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Great, man. How was your Thanksgiving, brother?
It was a good Thanksgiving. Spent it with the in-laws. Sister-in-law was supposed to pop and bring the new addition to the family, but she hasn't done that yet, and she is miserable. But she's hanging in there. Hope all you guys out there had a good Thanksgiving. I hope some of them deer hunters got some good meat in the freezer this past week. Maybe somebody killed a couple wall hangers, you know. What about you, Lanny? How was your Thanksgiving, bud?
Dude, I can't eat no more. We are I'm going to be eating leftovers till probably till they go bad. Till I get told to throw them away.
Till they got mold on them.
Very blessed for the simple things in life. And good holiday.
Good, man. Good. Glad you had a good one, buddy. Well, we got some fun stuff to cover tonight. This is going to be a good episode, I think. Before we get started into too much, let's give a shout out here to some sports teams inside of Mountaineer Nation, outside of football. The WVU women's basketball team going big this weekend on Southern Illinois, 73-55, improving at 6-0 right now. So they're starting off with a great season, starting off hot, playing well. Men's soccer moved up another rank in the NCAA tournament, getting another win this weekend. So congrats to the soccer team. Hopefully they can make a deep run here. And of course, the thing we always like to start off with right now is the football team beating Baylor 34-31. Wasn't pretty at all. I am, for one, am pretty certain that the special teams slept in, decided they didn't want to show up to the game until halftime. But we did end the season with 8 wins, which is Neil Brown's best out of his 5 years here. So congrats to the football team for finishing the regular season with 8 wins. Looks like we're going to be bowling with a pretty good team. Might get a good draw here. But, man, let's start there, Lanny. What'd you like about this weekend? What'd you not like about the Baylor game?
We couldn't have asked for any better offense and, honestly, defense, except for special teams in the first half. They never came out of the locker room after halftime. It's like they just shut down on all sides of the ball. I think whenever they start bowl practice, they need to take all the teams to the airport and see who the hell can kick the ball the furthest.
You wasn't happy with the punter performance this weekend?
No, not the punting, really. The kickoff. You know, you don't have. I mean, not that. Like, he was catching them at the 10-yard line. I think he had a 95 return and a 93 return. On the second one, he wasn't touched. He didn't have to make a guy miss. It was almost like we just ran out of the lanes or whatever they did. They just totally just whiffed on him. And I was terrified that we scored with, what was it,
23.
23 seconds left, and we had to kick again.
I was too.
I'm sitting there going, just kick it out of bounds.
Yeah.
We've been through the Hail Mary situation before. That's when you just turn around and say, everybody over 6'4", stand on the goal line, you know?
Yeah.
And we'll just take our chances with it. He did, for those, we'll get into Neil here in a little bit, but he did learn from the Houston game that he said, if we're ever in a situation again, I will bring pressure. And he did.
And he did. He did. And you're right, getting into Neil here in a little bit, though. But I think he did learn a couple things this year about Power 5 football. and one of the things was a 7-10 point lead doesn't mean crap in Power 5 football. It might mean something in G5 where the only people that care are the parents and the currently enrolled students. Doesn't mean crap on Power 5 level, man. Any Power 5 team can come back when they're down 7 to 10 points at any point in the game. So we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But ending the season, pretty good into it. You know, Green had another decent game, 16-25, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns. You know, I have to say, a lot of people that know me, a lot of people that I've talked with online know that I wasn't the biggest Green supporter in the beginning of the year. When Nico got a shot, I was hoping he would make the most of it. But I have to say, since the bye week, Green's been a different player. He has been a baller. It's been really fun to watch him finally he's still pretty inaccurate on those long balls, but in my opinion, not really that much more than anybody else. But he kept his turnovers down this year. He had 4 picks on the season, 2 of which, in my opinion, I really don't think were his fault. And we can pick out which those were. But the big thing for me, dude, the thing I'm excited about over the offseason, for me, is Jaheim White. If we do not do whatever is necessary to keep Jaheim White on our campus in Morgantown, shame on us, because that kid is a stud. And I don't know how some people are going to feel about me saying this. Next runaway beer truck. The kid, dude.
He's not big enough to be the beer truck.
I know. All right. Next runaway beer van. Dude, he's hard, man. He takes that first hit and he keeps rapping. And he broke a couple off, and I was hoping he was going to break one to the house, and he didn't quite get it. But man, he's going to be special. He's going to be special. And he catches the ball. Yes. He caught a touchdown last game, and he caught the most important touchdown against Baylor.
Well, Neil said that they ran that touchdown play back in fall, and that is something that they just kind of like, that was their go-to. And man, great call, and it worked. Yeah. I mean, the only thing he had in front of him was start the band. I mean, that was wide open and great, just a great call. I don't understand. Me and you talk a lot, and if you see the first drive in the second half, the second drive in the second half, or whenever the time comes, Neil knows this team. The team knows their coaching staff. I don't understand why it's like, okay, let's change this up. They done cut a 13-point lead down to 7 or 3. And it's like, let's change this around a little bit, and let's go act like we're down 3. Act like we're a tie ball game needing to score, and kick it into that second gear, and let's, just to change with it, And man, that's hard, just to sit there and just all of us watching. You're waiting for something to happen, and the frustration's building, and it. You can just feel it, just getting the life getting sucked out of you by it all. And here we are. Thank goodness they have an awful kicker. Because you're not playing for the win, and you're playing to tie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you know what? Big Gigi, I swear I'm not the biggest Garrett Green fan, but that kid, put the ball in his hands with a minute and a half, he'll show you. He gets all pigeon chested and let's go. And it's just it's strap in, because like you said, you don't think they have time to think. Go ahead with that.
Yeah. Well, so my thing, it's something Laney and I talked about here since the game yesterday. I was talking to some people on, one of the WVU message boards, and the question was asked, what's the difference between our 2-minute offense and our regular offense? And I jokingly responded, I said, the difference is in the 2-minute offense, Neil Brown and Garrett Green doesn't have time to think. Neil Brown doesn't have time to sit there and think about what moves he's going to make 3 plays down the field trying to play 4D chess. He's thinking about, what do we got to do? We got to get 10 yards. Let's call this play right now. And Green's like, okay, I can't sit here for 30 seconds looking and see what I want to do. They go. They don't have time to actually think about it, which, it was a joke. But if you kind of think about it, it kind of makes sense. For me, it's the play calling I didn't think was real great. And we scored and we did well. I had a lot of questions about why we were trying to push the ball into their grill so much. I think sometimes Don Nealon sneaks into the press box and just sits there and puts on a set, because we're going run, bubble screen, punt. I think sometimes he gets in there and steals the headset away from the OC. But I don't know. I wasn't terribly happy with the play calling, but it did get us the win. And I just don't know. I guess if you look at special teams, is really the reason that game was closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
It's 27-14 at halftime. Both of those 14 points of theirs coming from the run backs should have been 27-0. In the end of the game should have ended up being, I don't know if I can do that kind of math in my head, 34-17 at the end of the game is what the score should have been instead of 34-31.
it was truly a tale of two halves.
Absolutely.
It was like Baylor, it was almost like we switched locker rooms because, I think Baylor had a total of something ridiculous, like 81 yards total offense in the first half. They didn't do anything offensively, defensively. And then we come out just flat, just dead flat in the second half. And
well, you can tell they didn't have no faith in their quarterback. He was 1 for 1 for 12 yards for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, they kept trying to run the ball.
Then he comes out and looks like a Heisman candidate.
It was crazy. It was crazy how the stats got reversed. I mean, we had like 350 some yards in the first half. I think 23 first downs total, 18 of them in the first half. And then we come back out in the second half and it's 130 yards, give or take. I'm just kind of guessing on numbers here, guys. And something like 5 first downs. And it was a completely different team in the second half. And to show that, our first half possessions, it was, the first one was a punt, and then it was touchdown, field goal, touchdown, halftime. Come out in the second half, and it's, punt, touchdown, and the game's over, So it was weird. It was just weird for it to happen like that.
And like I said, we're all sitting there just waiting. Here we go. On this drive, nope. Next drive, nope. It's like you're killing me over here.
We're seriously going to screw around and we're going to drop this game. I mean, it was something that crossed my mind for a second. Was the second half breakdown, and it's kind of a positive for Neil. He got us back to the point where we have to worry about the second half breakdown. We really haven't had to worry about that in a while with Neil because we've been so bad under him until this year. What second half breakdown was there to have? So maybe it's a positive of him turning the corner. We're back to the point where we're worrying about, busting up leads and stuff.
I'm screaming, they are 3-8. They're 3-8. They're not good. They're not good. Baylor is not good. And I'm like, you cannot let good, bad teams hang around. And the thing, a lot of people don't realize it's hard to beat bad teams because you get that mindset of we're just going to kick it in whenever we want. We can score, we can do, and last year it just seemed like we couldn't, it was like we just could not, we never got the bounce and we lost every close game.
Mm-hmm.
This year it seems like we're trying to hold on to games, with TCU blocking 2 field goals,
Yep.
and it's like, and then when beating some other teams, like they weren't even there, Texas Tech beat up on them, BYU beat up on them, Cincinnati beat up on them, and it's like just the roller coaster. These, I'm saying, this team, I mean, we're West Virginia fans. We know what that's about, but it's still just like, come on, they're 3-8. They're not good. And we're going to mess around and get beat by a 3-8 team. It's a huge difference. You lose to Baylor, the whole conversation across Mountaineer Nation or whatever the hell we call it, it's awful.
We're calling Jimbo. We lose to Baylor, we're calling Jimbo, boys.
Shut up, stupid.
Come on now. Come on. You're right, though. I ending the season 3-8, and we take a look at the final standings here. Let's be honest. We were picked to finish dead last in the conference, and we're up here tied for 4th, 5th, or 6th. I'm not sure how that works out with maybe some head-to-heads or stuff with the new conference. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we'll say we finished tied for 4th. I don't think anybody in the nation expected it.
They'll figure out a way to make us 9th.
Well, let's not put it past them. It's a good thing nobody's refereeing the standings, or we might have a problem then, Lanny. But but it is good to end the season so much better. I know I've kind of preached a little bit on the competition. We had the 4 G5 teams on our schedule, and one of which we lost to. I can't say that I'm 100% Neil's the guy, but I at least am supportive of next year. And that was the thing I told people. I said, I'm expecting us to finish 5-7, 6-6 if we're lucky. And I was asked, what's the floor? What's the very best that Neil's going to have to do for you, to get your support, which not that my support means anything, but I said 8 wins, 8 regular season wins. If he wins 8 regular season wins, I'll be on board for him being back next year. Now, that was until Jimbo got fired, okay? Jimbo's not coming this year, so I'm on board for Neil being here next year. But I'm sorry, short of winning a national championship next year, there's nothing Neil Brown's going to do to make me want to keep him over Jimbo if Jimbo's knocking on Ren Baker's door saying, hey, I'd really like to be the football coach here.
That'll never happen. He's never going to knock on
anybody. Oh, God.
He's never going to knock on anybody's door.
And you're a dream ruiner.
To want to come coach. They're going to, like we said before, they're going to knock on his. And, but you know what? It's one of those things where it's a business. And, our fans they're not good to begin with. About to go in on that whole thing.
Oh,
but
man.
It's a business, and you pay for wins. And if you're paying $4 million on the average across college football, $4 million coaches, that's 6 wins. You might get lucky and get 7, and at the Power 5 level. But Neil Brown is a little over $4 million a year. His salary, he's got a better record than this season. No, let's not get crazy and say over his career, because I think it's like he's like 28-26 or something. But
he's one game above 500. It's 29-28, 30-29, something like that.
But this year, salary wise goes, he outcoached. Well, his season wise was 26 better than he outcoached 26 other coaches.
So you're saying his record was better than 26 coaches that get paid more than him?
Yes, then get paid more than him.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, hey, and you know what? Considering where we were supposed to finish and how the season was supposed to go, according to the experts, I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I really am. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be, oh man, we lost 8 games. That sucks. It doesn't. It was fun to see. When Green finally kind of turned it around after the bye week there, it ended up being a much better season. I just next year's schedule, we've all seen it. We all know what's coming on next year. Next year's schedule is a little more difficult. And if he can recreate this same success next year and win another 8 games next year, then I'm going to be all on board. Unless Jimbo wants to coach here, I'm going to be all on board with, hey, Neil Brown might be turning the corner. And that's my question for you. Based on this year, based on just now, do you think he's turned the corner? How, you have to admit this. Go ahead.
I do, because I think you're crazier than hell that you think next year's schedule's harder.
It's harder. We get the state of Kansas. We get Iowa State back.
Okay. We're not going to play. We're not going to. There's no chance. 0. You're not going to play Oklahoma probably ever again, or at least in our lifetime.
Bowl game.
Or Texas. They're you know what I'm saying, they're out of the Big 12. I will have a huge problem, as a fan, if West Virginia does not finish in the top 5 in the Big 12 from now on. This is a steroid Big East in my eyes.
That's fair. That's fair and accurate. Yeah.
Because you don't have the big bad wolf out there that nobody wants to mess with. I think we are in the same, caliber team that K-State is, that TCU is. We should be anyway, with recruiting wise, with facility wise. It's we are right there with everybody else in the Big 12 now, because with Texas gone and Oklahoma gone, and you're bringing, I'm saying, even the teams you're bringing in, it's not that, the big I mean, we're the same. I think the field is really, really close, and we are right there. In the Big East, we had Virginia Tech, we had Miami,
Syracuse,
Pitt,
of course.
in Pitt right there, and it was like the playing field with us was the whole time with them. And but with Miami was the monster that had the recruiting, that had the everything going on. Virginia Tech with Beamer ball going on.
Oh, Beamer ball, baby.
It was fun. I hated them, but it was fun, And but I think right now that I'm saying that curve with the Big 12 now, that's where we fit, even though not saying geographically, but we fit with that,
Right.
And with Houston, they got a problem. But
woo! Hey, let's talk about WVU's next offensive coordinator.
Okay.
Dana got canned.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm pretty sure in an interview here earlier this year, was it this year, where he said he made the comment, allegedly, that we won 20 games in the last 2 years and my contract is too expensive for them. They're not firing me. And it looks like that's what happened. I think it was today, wasn't it? Was that today when that happened? It was.
He got fired on his day off.
He got fired what?
He got fired on his day off.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, that was breaking news, earlier today, that, Hogs is out. And I think he got blindsided.
Because I think so too. I don't think he saw it coming for a mile away.
I don't think at all he saw that coming, because like the number one booster down there, that's his boy.
Yeah.
Dino buddy. He's going to the Rockets game, sitting in his lounge. That is his man down there. And it was one of those like, man, I couldn't even save you. I couldn't,
That's crazy.
But the thing is, he came in there and it was part of his contract. We'll give you an extra $1 million if we become Power 5. They did, and once they became like, I think he went 8-4, 12-2, 10-2, something like that. And then it was losing season.
Well, last year was a losing season. Last year was a losing season, but the year before last they went 10-2. So it's only been 2 years since he went 10-2. I'm sorry, I don't think Houston's good enough to fire a coach that went 10-2 2 years ago. Two winning seasons, one of which being 10-2. Had a bad season last year. I don't know. 2 seasons in a row, I guess I see it. But
buddy, there might have been something drastic going down.
We don't know. We don't know. We're looking at it based on wins and losses.
But we do know that he is no longer the coach at Houston.
Well,
so that is a fact. And we do know that talk about Texas A&M, because that's where I think you got to be related to Jimbo or something, because man, you're like
shit. I know. Well, let's see. What was it they hired? I can't remember his name. Duke's coach. What is it?
Elko.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, listen, I thought it would have been a great 3-way trade. Okay. Stoops to A&M, Neal to Kentucky, Jimbo to West Virginia. I mean, everybody's happy. Everybody gets what they want. And then we got Jimbo. Then we bring in Dana as the offensive coordinator. Man, we're going 11-1 next year.
You're delusional.
Well, that.
Yeah.
I'm like, can't really argue with you there. So, oh God, Laney. So, all right. So, you know what? You made a comment a little bit ago. You had some stuff you wanted to talk about here. Let's move into some basketball stuff. Yeah, you attended the game tonight. I was on the road coming back from the in-laws down in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. They got a win. They're 2-2. They lost 2-2, or is it 3-3? 3-3. Oh, you're breaking up on me. Sorry, guys, having some technical difficulties. Anyway,
I don't even know what they are. I know they 4 players.
They're 3-3. Lost to Virginia last week, but almost beat ranked 24 Virginia. Okay, that, and they looked, they looked okay tonight. I think from what the clips I got to see. I don't think you were there. What'd you think?
Have
you seen anything better now than what we saw in the first couple games?
No, No, not really. You played a bad team, a team I can't say their name right. Bella something out of Louisville. They're a small school out of Louisville.
Right.
They'll probably finish in the top half of their conference. Scrappy team. That team was they ran like a Princeton type of passing game movement, and man, I don't know. People's going crazy over the NCAA, which no one understands what the hell they are doing with. They'll let one guy grant a transfer, and then they won't grant somebody else. In this battle, kid, man, I think they could suit up Curry, and they're not going to. They'll be lucky to win 15 games.
Get out of here, man.
They're not, buddy. I feel so bad for a couple of the guys on the team that absolutely hustle, but they can't score. They don't have a guy that if they need a bucket, will pass it to him, drain it. They just don't. And poor Edwards is just getting the hell beat out of him underneath. And he touches the ball. He's got a guy on each shoulder, one hanging off his kneecap. And it's and he can't, when he kicks out, I don't even, they don't make open shots. And I don't understand. It's the same type of offense. I heard they're going to go up and down the court, and they don't. And it's hard to watch. And I feel bad for Eilert because he's in a no-win situation. I think that when that stuff went down, when they announced him as the interim head coach, it's too late to do the process to hire a new coach. So he kind of had, you're the guy this year. We're going to, evaluate you as it goes. It's a process. And then at the end of the year, we'll make an evaluation. I think somehow, some way, if it was crazy and he made the NCAA tournament, I still don't think he would be their guy. I think they're going to go out. Ren Baker is going to go out and find his own guy, and it's just a weird situation they're in. God, I really don't want to do this. Our fans are bad human beings.
Oh God, you're saying this to our fans that are listening to this, all 30 of them,
and all in general. But my goodness, 4 out of 10 are just bad people that have no clue what's going on in the realm of WVU. So blinders on, it's unreal. And I actually overheard a conversation behind me tonight that they're talking, WVU and the coaching carousel, and they're talking WVU that Brown needed to go. He needed to go. He can't win. He can't recruit. Do you not see our freshmen out there playing, making plays?
I mean, he's not recruiting at blue blood levels, but I mean, he has recruited relatively on the same level Dana did when Dana did, put his effort into recruiting. I think he had a couple classes that were even a little higher. And he got Jaheim White to come here, and that right now is our stud.
And Donaldson. And all the injuries. I mean, hell, we're playing walk-on guys that they earned their scholarship, but at linebacker, Visor here in Morgantown, God bless that kid for working his ass off and getting a scholarship, but he wasn't going to play. He wasn't playing at Pitt. He wasn't getting looked at by other, Power 5 schools.
Right.
And, and it's like, the defense has been, we've had, guys go down on defense all year long, and it's patchwork. And, and I'm bitching, I complain about our defense. And I tell you what, man, Leslie, I don't know the scheme and I don't know the answers to it, but my goodness, he's busted his ass to put a decent product out there that at times looks phenomenal. At other times, man, they look rough, but it's still one of those things, like they're not a couple games when you're playing, yes, you get your ass smoked whenever you play Oklahoma. Who doesn't right now? They're scoring 60 on everybody.
Oh, I don't know. They only beat UCF by 2. Kansas beat them with a backup quarterback.
The last,
I mean, what's that?
But still, yet though, I'm going to go in on our fans, just the delusion. But these guys behind us, they're complaining about Brown, and I'm sitting there, man. My lips it's bleeding at this point from the side. And Brown's not my boy. Brown is not my boy by no means. But and everybody has their right to their opinion.
Sure,
just not ignorant. It is what it is. But they go, our coach was here, and we let him go. And I go, like,
hold on, let me guess. Rich Rod.
No, that's my guy. But
I know.
But I'm sitting there like, I gotta lean back and listen to this one for a second, And he said, his buddy goes, well, who's that? And he goes, Doc Holliday. I said, you done lost your damn mind.
What?
I said,
what?
Not need to
get out of here.
I said,
get out of here.
Drop on your conversation, but man, that fool couldn't win at Marshall and got replaced by the running
backs coach
from Alabama, and he's about to get his ass kicked too. And I hate Marshall. I can't stand Marshall, our little redhead stepchild down there that thinks they can compete with somebody. But that's, man, I'm like, and I go, people think that there's coaches knocking on the door to come here. It's not happening.
No.
You're getting mediocre money, and it's West Virginia is going to be a stepping stool. It always has been. Since Dawn left, it's been a stepping stool. We got lucky, and we found a flash in the pan for a little while with Rich. And then God bless Stu. And then here comes Holgerson and totally, damn near shook everything loose. And then stability comes in Brown. He's the right guy for WVU. He's going to get the 7, 8, throw 9 in. And I guarantee you under Neil Brown, there will be no 6-win seasons. It's going to be 7+ from now on.
Well, there won't be any 10 and 11 win seasons, and there won't be any conference championships either. Because I'm telling you right now, 0-16 against ranked teams. We're not beating anybody with a pulse, which, listen, it is what it is. We're beating the basement, which we should, which I'm happy about, right? You should always beat those teams below you. Okay? You hear me? You're hearing me? Yeah? That's fine. We're beating the basement. We're losing to the top, and we're going to hang around in the middle. And the thing that's killing me is we're always going to be 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're always going to be in that area right there. We're never going to win I feel we're never going to win the conference with Brown. We're never going to be in contention for, a playoff spot. And everyone says, well, how many times have we won 10 games? And how often do we have 11-win seasons? It's not the point of how often we've done it. It's that in those seasons, in those special moments, we always get that game here and there. The Oklahoma Bowl game back when I was still in high school. Okay. Nobody in the country except I remember that map. Everybody in the country, I think, what was it? Everybody in the country, but West Virginia was red. Okay. And we got that win. Every once in a while, we steal one. And right now, we're not doing it with Neil. Now, maybe he can do it next year. I'm not sure what kind of big cats other than Penn State's going to be on our schedule next year that would be considered that big win.
Well, on the schedule next year, you're going to have like Kansas up there. They might make it to like number 13, 12. There's not going to be a top 8 team, 10 team in the Big 12 anymore. I don't see it. I don't see it because we're really good at beating up on each other.
No, you're right about that. We are good at beating the crap out of each other. So, well, hey, man. So, I guess we'll see where it goes. Do we have any bold predictions?
I You don't, or you do?
I don't. I don't. I'm not real good at picking the bowls, and I saw one where we were playing Texas A&M.
Yeah.
The prediction. I'm like, hey, all right, we'll play A&M. Winner gets Jimbo. But
I want him so.
yeah, no, yeah.
From what I've deciphered through, it's like the Heart of Texas Bowl. All I know is that Joker's in Texas. They have their like choice between like it'll be like West Virginia, Kansas State, and Iowa State. I don't want that game. I want no part of going to Texas again. Yeah. Let them pick. I'm like, pick somebody else. Please pick somebody else. I believe the Liberty Bowl loves West Virginia, and I like Bill Street. That Bill Street to me is the Audis compared to Walmart of Bourbon Street, man. It is a little, it's they shut down the street and it's rhythm and blues and brews and open container, bar to bar. I'm about Bill Street in Memphis.
Okay.
Graceland this time because my idiot friends didn't want to go to Graceland. You know, I can go see where the king clipped his toenails. You know, and I'm about going back to Memphis. The city, not so much, but the stuff there, pretty cool. But and it's reasonable. It's 11 hours from Morgantown. You know,
yeah, I'm fine that.
For those from down southern West Virginia to listen to us, it's even closer. You know, I think we play Kentucky in the Liberty Bowl.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Okay.
Or there's I don't think we're going to get it because I think they're going to go a little bit higher than our standing level right now. The Pop-Tart Bowl. And it's down where the Camping World Bowl was down in Orlando.
Okay.
West Virginia, that's the hillbilly highway right there, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Going down to it's like we're not having Christmas, we're going to the bowl game, you know. And so pack up the kids, the Clampets, and let's all this Mountaineer Nation go down to Orlando. That's my dream. My parents live outside of Tampa. I get free lodging, and it's an hour away. So I'm hoping every year for a bowl game in Florida. Put my pasty ass on, you know, down in Florida at the end of December. I'm about. So yeah, that's what I want. But my prediction is Liberty, Kentucky, or I don't know if I want Tennessee, you know.
I don't.
But yeah, who do you want? Because somebody said something stupid like there's a chance we play Notre Dame. I'm like, well, come on now.
Oh God. Oh.
Because you know what I want? I want West Virginia, this team, this year and 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks or whatever, to play somebody that's ranked, that is a number 16, 14, whatever, that finished number 4, 3 in their conference, and let's whip that ass.
So you want us to lose our bowl game?
No, never.
0-6, 0-16. If we draw a good team, I want somebody that has a worse record than us. If we draw somebody with an equal or better record that was even ranked at any point in this season, we're going to lose to them. If we are not going to beat a team with a pulse unless it's any basement. I want any team in the basement of any conference.
So you want a cupcake?
That's the only teams we can beat.
Oh my goodness!
That's the only teams we can beat, and we lost to one this year.
I would rather be like, buddy, I think this team can honestly right now, as long as they get off the plane and they, you know, and they stay away from bowl festivities for a few days, or it's a shorter trip. I think they can play with just about. I'm not saying Alabama, or I'm not going to go crazy and say Georgia. Let's be real.
Ooh, Georgia.
I think they can play with a number 10. Okay, I'm too high. Number 12 through 25 out. I think they can. And
play with, not win.
Team with those extra practices, can compete.
Okay. I don't, and I think the reason why is we've seen in multiple games this year alone adjustments, halftime adjustments, and game adjustments. I don't know where they were last night. It cost us the Houston game. It cost us the Oklahoma State game. It almost cost us the game last night. There's no adjustments, okay? Holge makes adjustments, and that's why that at the end of the day, you can blame it on Green taking his helmet off. You can blame it on the pass interference when they were on 3rd and 16. You can blame it on the interception in the middle of the end zone. That was a perfect pass by Green, which all of that contributed. But at the end of the day, Holgerson went in at halftime and made adjustments, and Neal didn't. At the Oklahoma State game, we were beating them. We should have come away with that win. They went in, excuse me. They went in at halftime. Oklahoma State made adjustments. He didn't, or didn't make any adjustments in the second half. And then did it last night, and it almost bit us in the ass last night. And it's like you said last night, it's a good thing their kicker sucked. Might have been a different outcome. I digress. Nonetheless, that's where we are this week, everybody. Man, I got a little bit of time between the next ball game. We'll be watching some basketball here and keeping up with some of that. We'll get some. Do we have any games this week? I haven't looked at the schedule. I'll be honest with you guys. I haven't flipped over to basketball yet. But now that regular season football is done, I'll at least be flipping over there. But as it always ends, we want to thank you guys for tuning in. We want to thank you guys for subscribing. We hope you all like what we're putting out. This is like
our follow us on the X.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody was actually paying attention, but I had a little banner there, a little graphic this week that says, "Hey, we're on Twitter now." So find us on Twitter, X, whatever the hell it's called now. We've been kind of active on there the last couple of days. It's fresh and new, so we've only had it for a couple of days, but we're trying to work this thing the right way. We don't know what it is. I've been off social media since 2010, so I'm like learning how to work Twitter.
real quick, I want to go in on Zach Frazier, the heart and soul of this team. Thank you for everything you've done, from being a hometown boy, staying home, and taking care of everything, being the student athlete that you are, the good kid that you are, man. We got a couple friends of ours that coached you up at Fairmont Senior, and
yeah,
I heard about you whenever you were a freshman. They said, I got this Frazier kid, Tyler Phillips. Shout out to you, buddy, for listening.
Yeah, buddy. You know what? Do you remember what he told us? I remember him telling us, he said, because we were talking about the Stills brothers that one day.
Yeah.
And he goes, we got a guy down here right now that's going to push them Stills brothers all over the place. Yeah. And he was talking about Frazier.
He goes, we got a freshman up here. He said, that's giving the Stills brothers everything they want in practice. And he said, not taking anything away from them.
No.
These are phenomenal. He said, but this Frazier kid, he goes, he's going to play in the NFL. And he said that whenever he was a freshman at Fairmont Senior. Hey, man, you busted your ass clear to your last play as probably a Mountaineer. High ankle sprain is what they think is probably going to set out the bowl game, recover for the Senior Bowl and stuff like that.
Yeah.
God bless you. Hope you heal well and everything works out for you, buddy.
Absolutely. Same thing here. Ditto to everything he said, man. You really put it on the line for your career here. And, we as Mountaineer fans are always going to appreciate that. We hope whoever is in your spot next year, you trained up well.
Which whenever he went down, he got off the field knowing that it would be 10-second runoff.
Yeah.
He went down. Yates came in, and it was seamless.
Yeah.
It was seamless.
Yeah.
That's a big shout out to
Yates.
And that just didn't miss a beat.
Yep. That's a good pass of the torch right there. So
yeah,
I don't think Frazier deserved to go out like that. I hate that's how it ended for him at WVU, but yeah, we thank you for everything, man. You're a killer for us. Well, guys, hey, that's going to do it for this episode. We hope you guys like what we're putting out there. Subscribe, find us on Twitter, X, whatever it is, all that good crap. And we hope you guys have a good week.
Hope you keep you entertained from ear to ear. Let's go.